Good start.
Start on that side. Let's do that again.
Go for it.
Hi, I'm James. I play bass in Gutser.
I'm also James. I play drums in Gutser.
I am Chris. I sing in Gutser.
I'm Paul. I play guitar in Gutser.
Brilliant.
Well
Brilliant.
done.
Okay, we're gonna start early days. Do you want to tell us how you guys met and how Gutser started?
Well, me and Chris wanted to start a street punk band with James. Actually, we started with James, and then we jammed with Paul one day, and I was like, "Hey, it's that ska kid with the Wu-Tang hat I used to see at Dawson all the time." And yeah, it turns out we're really good at writing music together.
I
And we
was
love each
not
other.
in a band at the time, and I messaged James asking him, like, what are you doing tonight? And he was like, I'm starting a new street punk band with James Armstrong and Chris Aitkens. I was like, I know one of those guys, Chris Aitkens. He's pretty cool. What is street punk? And he sent me some links to some songs, and I was like, fucking hate this. Can I come play guitar? And he was like, sure. James didn't know who I was exactly, but he was like, oh, he's one of the kids from Street Kids on Acid. I hate those dudes. So the band started with like much tension and disdain.
It wasn't that
And-
Not at all. You're really retelling
From
this
whose
completely
side?
wrong.
That's exactly
Well,
how
I had to
seemed
talk
really
to you and be
mean.
like, yo, look, like, just give him a chance. Like, just because
See?
you heard shit about
See?
Street Kids on
See?
Acid.
He was just
like, give him
jealous
a
of us.
chance.
He was
We
jealous.
just didn't want to start a ska band,
Yeah,
and we're still.
I didn't
That's
wanna
the
start a
only
ska-
rule.
I
no
didn't want to
ska.
start a street punk
Still
band.
to this day, ska is no. It's the only rule. No ska.
Why do you guys hate ska so
Paul
much?
Still slips in some ska riffs here. And
I
there.
have been doing that
Much
in
too
House
much. Live,
Hippos.
though.
I've been sneaking a ska riff in House Hippos.
Nice. Did you get any
Uh,
in today?
No.
Damn.
No.
Good boy.
But no, so we had like a first jam, and we all, like, it just kind of clicked right away. We're like, this is fun, and then we just kind of kept going with it for 10 years of my
10
goddamn
years
life
with the
now.
same lineup is like,
Yeah.
it's a tough one. Like, it's quite a feat.
There have been fights. Judas Priest kept Gutser together. We can't tell you what we
can't
mean by
explain
that,
that.
but one day we will be able to tell you this story.
Oh,
But not
God.
today.
Way to leave us hanging.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Why'd you even say that?
Jeez.
Because-
No, but, next time, your next visit.
There you go.
You guys celebrated your 10-year anniversary with a big show. Can you guys tell us how that went down? How who you had play with you guys and what that was like?
Well, playing with us, we had our friends Jesus Horse and Dumbass, and we wanted to have some kind of eating contest, as we've done every single, well, I mean, not every single year, but we've been doing a lot of eating contests
kind of
on
our
stage.
thing.
I have so many
Ice
questions. That's literally on
cream.
my paper. It said, ask about the spaghetti eating contest.
Right.
Wait, we had a spaghetti.
We never
I don't
did
think it was
We never
spaghetti.
did spaghetti.
The
No,
year
it's
before-
somebody
It's
told me
happening
yes,
now.
Gutser did a spaghetti
We
eating
had
contest.
someone on stage. They had like a minute and 45 seconds to eat an entire pizza, and which were like, "There's no fucking way they could ever possibly do this." And they did in like a minute and 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And James almost
Almost died. Yeah.
He,
Like our
he
friend
took
Conti
pizza?
was eating pizza, and
He was the guy.
We were playing. What song we were playing? I think
It
we were
was a
playing
short
Are You-
one. There was a short one.
And I think it was Are You Ashamed?
Yeah.
And so he gave me a bite of the pizza, and like one of the pieces of pepperoni got like lodged in my throat. So I was like, I felt like I was turning blue, like playing. It probably looked like I was
Well,
banging, but I was like,
No.
Dying inside.
I looked over at him and noticed like something was kind of wrong, and he was looking back at me like, and he just like jammed his bass into his stomach. And just, I just saw like a pepperoni shoot out. It's pretty great.
yeah, I finally got it out and was very relieved. And I don't think anyone even noticed.
I
so-
did.
Did
I noticed.
Conti
I didn't
notice?
notice.
I saw that.
But to answer your question about the 10-year anniversary,
Right.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Right.
we did an eating contest with cherry tomatoes because we wanted to make it relate it to
Denethor.
yeah,
Oh, Lord of the
exactly,
Rings,
in
thank
Lord of the
God.
Rings, the
Yeah.
Return of the King, that
Iconic
disgusting
Halloween
scene where he
costume.
like eats
Tomatoes.
tomatoes. It's disgusting.
To a very sad song.
Yeah.
Yes. Very sad.
Very sad.
Very
They
sad.
did
Yes,
that in
very
one
sad.
take.
Anyway.
Lord of the
Reference.
Rings and hardcore is really
Also, yeah, we had Jesus Horse play. We get them to come out of retirement once a year to play a show with us. So that was fun.
They're
Yep.
semi-retired, I guess.
Who knows?
Anyways,
Nice. Any other show highlights for you guys? Because now, if this is an anniversary thing, let's go.
We
Rattle
had
off, what are
like
people eating
confetti
here?
guns for the first time.
Yeah.
Blasted the
Yeah.
crowd with confetti, which was
Like,
pretty cool.
was that the time where you had a bunch of like sunscreen running down your back and like it
what?
just
Our
went right into your-
anniversaries?
What?
No,
that
no.
was
The
an
sunscreen
anniversary.
was like
That was with
fuck
Voltang.
winter. It was with Voltang.
Yeah.
And
Got a bunch of sunscreen on the drum sets.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Very
Paul
sunscreen,
from
yeah.
Voltang
Greasy
was so
drum
mad
set.
about that.
Yeah.
Like not actually
My
bad,
bad.
but like pretty mad. He did not appreciate
No,
the fact
he
that
was
his
not very
drums
happy.
were
Sorry about
covered
that.
in sunscreen. And I don't think he
Yeah,
also
he was.
appreciated when we kind of justified it by being like, at least they won't get sunburnt now. I don't think he thought that was very funny.
No.
We love the joke.
Terrible joke.
Okay, so I guess I asked you about your craziest show memories. What are your favorite venues to play in the city? You want to shout out any venues?
Turbo House. I would
Turbo
say.
I
House,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, Turbo House.
All of the
obviously.
iterations.
The
of it.
joke is that Gutser can only play at Turbo House, so we're like legally obligated to play at Turbo House to the point where we've been roasted in like the cult, where it says like Gutser is playing his 3,000th show again at Turbo House this weekend. Shout out Johnson Cummings for roasting us, but also misspelling our
Supporting
name
us.
every single time.
Wait, what's the official spelling? Give it to us.
It's Gutser, but he spells it as Guster. As
like
in
that
the-
Australian. man.
Okay, there is a
Yeah,
there
there
is
is
a
a
Guster out there, and let me
Yeah.
tell you, Googling stuff was hard.
Yeah.
It thinks I'm
Yeah.
wrong every time. What about venues to see shows at? Like, you guys are always out and about. What are your favorite venues to watch shows at?
Under the Bridge is always.
Under
Yeah,
the
the
Bridge
bridge
is
is
fun.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, want to tell us about the underpass? I feel like that's a new thing. Also, were there always
It's very
shows under the
relatively
I think it was
underpass?
new.
like COVID. It started.
Yeah, since the
Yeah.
pandemic, when there weren't allowed like any other shows anywhere else, a lot of shows happened underneath the bridge, and it's all ages, so all these like kids show up, and I mean now that trackside's dead, like all the kids are going to like the under the bridge shows.
Yeah.
To the point where I think they're still trying to like book shows there in like November.
Wow. Optimistic. Who knows? Climate change. It'll be nice out there for a while.
Wear warm clothes. Wear warm clothes.
Yeah, yeah.
There you
Gloves.
go. That's sick. It's fun to see a lot of new, like, these kind of DIY venues pop up for stuff, especially with, if we want to talk about it, what's been going on with La Tulip recently.
Oh,
and
yeah,
noise
sure.
complaints.
God.
Can we rant? Do you guys want to rant? Rant.
I work
Please.
for La Tulip,
Oh,
actually.
no.
Yeah, so it sucks. Like, we're already not getting a ton of shows already, so this is pretty devastating.
Yeah.
Like, it's like National and Tulip, our sister venue, so
Mhm.
at least there's still that, but like, who knows?
Yeah.
It's pretty tragic.
Crazy. I saw Chris. Were you at that? There was like a rally.
I wish I
recently?
was at that
Yeah.
protest, but I'm so stoked to see the amount of people that showed up
think
and
it's
made some
awesome.
noise. It really shows that like people actually care about this scene and they will show up. And like I feel during the pandemic we really took it for granted, like live music, and just seeing like the amount of support for venues to keep on going. It's inspiring, but it's just so terrible how like a
It's a dirty
single
game.
neighbor can shut
Yeah.
down an entire.
Like,
It's
at
always condos,
150
too.
If you want
Yeah.
peace and quiet, go to Saint Jerome. Like, don't
Yeah,
go
yeah.
live, like on
We're
Saint
mostly
Denis.
suburbs.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
we're mostly
exactly.
suburbs. You can figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like,
it's
for the
nice
culture,
to see.
And like, yeah, since post-pandemic, the industry is in such overdrive to make that money back.
Mm-hmm.
That,
Yeah,
like,
that's
true.
there's tours being turned away from Montreal for certain dates because there's not enough venues to put them in.
That's
so
outrageous.
we're
You're
losing another one.
literally losing another venue, which is just insane.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. Really.
It's crazy because I do find, like, for me, I got into the local scene post-pandemic. Like, I was like a hardcore fangirl going to see the same band 3 nights in a row, paying $65 to go see them.
Oh, yeah.
And then realizing that, like, there's so much talent, like, literally around the corner. Like, not to be corny about it or anything, but, like,
No, for
literally,
sure.
like, in your neighborhood. And it feels like there's this increase in interest, but then this, like the culture, like whoever's paying for things is not keeping up, like in terms of like the infrastructure, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, well said.
So who knows if the more people that show up and the more people that give a shit is gonna make a difference. But yeah. Change the subject. Cut this out. Cut.
Cut.
Yeah. Cut. Going back to how you guys started, you mentioned street punk. I was watching your Gorgeous Pictures featurette earlier, and most of that was centered about what the hell kind of music you guys make.
Yeah.
And
Not
so
sure
hearing
either.
street
We don't
punk,
really know.
what's your guys' take? Also, 10 years as a band, I'm sure it's changed. Like,
Yeah.
if it started with that idea, can you tell us about how it's evolved since then?
I think when we started, we were like trying to figure out our sound, really, because like we came in with the intention of street punk, which is just
But you got a curveball in me.
Yeah,
well, we're like, all right, how do we
Kinda
make
worked
this
out.
work with Paul? I think I just played the undefeatable punk beat for the entire like first like 10
Yeah, the
songs.
first 5, 6 songs.
And then we were like,
Three,
maybe
four.
we should change this up a little and like develop as musicians.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't really know. We just kind of play what we like to hear.
I feel it very much lends itself to like.
I think we've never really put like apart from like when we were at first, we were like loosely like, oh, start a street punk band. But after that, I think we've never really kind of had any kind of framework where we were like, we have to sound like this or sound like that, right? We are always like, I don't know, that sounds fun. Like Paul would be like, look at this weird dissonant chord. And then we'd be like, okay, yeah, that's fun. Let's do that. Yeah.
I think one day I came in, I was like, I want a post-punk song, and Paul just wrote it like that day, and we're like, okay, that's sick. And
Nice. Okay,
yeah.
so what's the songwriting process? Like now 10 years writing together too.
So Paul writes all of the songs and then we play them.
Yeah, actually hired musicians.
The
No,
hired
but we'll
guns.
have like
I
input,
steal a lot from Every Time I Die.
yeah.
Shout out.
Not entire parts, but just like a lot of inspiration, really. I think they're terrific musicians.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah, I can't play that good.
Yeah, I
trying.
know. Well, their
I beg
drummers
to
are
differ,
terrific.
friends, but it was a good set.
Single
So-
Mothers, Negative Qualities, terrific album. Good amount of like inspiration there for this band. I don't know. Trigger Effect really is something that
Yeah.
like
Big one.
that-
I feel
like, that's
we
just it,
could
like,
be
when this-
called a glorified Trigger Effect cover band.
Yeah, like when
that's
this,
what
when this band started, like it's like we said, it's like they had intent to start a street punk band. I had intent to not do that and kind of figure out how to get what I wanted out of this while still making them happy with like writing really good songs. And 3 of us are really, really into Trigger Effect, and that was like the one musical thread through all of us. That like
Yeah.
Nice.
all of us liked James.
I like
not-
Trigger Effect.
he likes Trigger
Right,
Effect.
he's
I don't have a tattoo.
he's
just
not
it-
obsessed.
just not
Yeah,
as
they're
much as
great.
like
They're good.
us. And you know, it was like kind of that through line where like they have 3 terrific albums in an EP. So like, you know, I don't want to say we've like completely stolen from them, but there's a great deal of inspiration there. So if you like what we do, you should, and you've never heard Trigger Effect, which I'm
Definitely check it out.
definitely check it out if you haven't. It's just absolutely terrific music. And as much as maybe we're not trying to sound exactly like take the actual songs for what they are, it's like the energy and like
Yeah.
kind of
Also, just the
attitude they
showmanship in the
brought
show.
to
That's
Yeah.
what I was gonna
Yeah.
ask because you guys have such like fun performance personas, and was wondering what the influence is there. But I guess Trigger
Yeah,
Effect is
Trigger
a big
Effect.
one because I feel like also the type of music and not labeling yourself also like allows for the like how fun everything is, and like to be able to do like we were talking about Guts or TV earlier, and like fun skits and fucking food eating contests, and like to like label yourself as a genre might rule out some of those things. So I think
Yeah, it's
really
true. Like
cool.
some metal bands take themselves too seriously.
Yeah.
I
that's
think,
a
you know, and-
big problem,
There's
I
like
think.
baggage
Yeah.
that comes along with it if you kind of pick a genre, right? Because
Yeah.
I mean, there's pressure to like kind of just represent that
Mhm.
style. I don't think we've ever really done that, for better or worse.
No.
Yeah,
We've definitely gone through like more metal or hardcore
Yeah.
punk phases. in
Yeah, for sure.
songwriting, but we don't put out music often enough for you to see like, oh, this would be their hardcore album or this is their metal album. It's more like we've put out such few things. It's like the albums that come out are a mix of all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
then
there's
it's
a lot
kind
of,
of
like,
hard to
Like
bring
an
down.
accurate representation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, yeah. So, you know,
Sick. So
we do have an
fun.
album coming out, so you'll see.
Hell yeah. Well, that leads us into some fun discussion. We're coming to see you next weekend. Do you guys want to tell us about next week's show?
Oh, yeah. Chris?
Oh, so I booked this show under Sewer Spewer, which is my Instagram handle.
Shout out.
But I wanted to book some friends of mine from Buffalo called On the Cinder. I met them back in 2016 at Pooza Fest. I didn't get to see them at Pooza Fest, but one of the members, he's just so charismatic. He's just been like he was just going up to everybody at the show and kind of introducing himself the first time in Montreal, so they really wanted to network, and I told them about my radio show, and then like next time they were in town, they played a show and I interviewed them for
Sick.
CJLO, and then just every other time they were in town, I would go see them, buy merch off of them, and really get to know them, but I never got to play with them. They always had like a book show before with like some more pop punk type bands because that's what would fit their music more. But recently they just hit me up and they're like saying, hey, we're trying to find some place to play in Montreal. We want to come up. And I was like, okay, finally, now I can book my
The wheels
band
are
with
turning,
you.
yeah.
It's my time.
Yes.
And where's the show, Chris?
The show is at Hemisphere Gauche on Saturday, October 5th. So
Nice.
you'll probably...
This will probably be out by the
Out
time that
after.
show is there, but we'll have nice footage to show you guys
Yeah.
of that
Hell
set.
yeah.
Well, I'm stoked. If today was so much fun, and I can't wait to see it in front of a full crowd. It's gonna
Yeah,
be.
we
a
had
good
a lot of
time.
fun too. Thanks for having
Hell
us.
yeah! Thanks
Oh
for
my God,
having
of
us.
course. Do you guys want to tell us? You mentioned a recording. What are you guys working on? What's coming up for Gutser?
So we have a second album coming out very soon called
Woohoo.
9 Riffs to Rule Them All. We're just putting the final touches on it just before, but our friend Jordan Barolero is
Shout out
mixing
No
it
Fun
and
Audio.
mastering it.
He's a wizard.
No fun audio.
Yeah.
Number one.
We get Shroud on.
He did a
The
great
legend.
job recording us so far. The tracks sound sick, but already we've transitioned over to the next album.
It's already written completely.
I mean, it's all in Paul's head right now. It's just a matter of him teaching it to the rest of us.
Execution.
I've written all of it. I've taught you a third.
Yeah, we're 4 songs down.
Hell yeah. So lots coming. Well, thanks again so much for coming in today. Hope you guys had a good time. We had a blast. You want to give a big, like, happy Halloween or something?
Sure.
Hell yeah. Okay.
Go for it. Do your Gutser fans.
Yeah. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Happy Halloween!